Hi, in this video I'm going to talk to you about the basics of the tapping technique.
Just tap it in.
In a lot of ways, this is actually pretty easy to get on top of. When you compare it to other things that you can learn to do, like bar chords for example, this technique is actually pretty straightforward. If I was confronted with two students, one wanting to learn about bar chords and the other one wanting to learn about tapping, I'd have finished with the tapping student way before the bar chord student. Once you get your head around the basics, you can come up with some seriously cool and flashy musical ideas that actually don't require that much effort to play. I'm going to assume here that you know what the hammer-on and pull-off techniques are. So a hammer-on is when you do this. Ah! No, wait a minute. That's not quite right. And a pull-off is when you do this. If you don't know how to do hammer-ons and pull-offs, I'll do a separate tutorial on these two ideas at some point in the future. If you want to check out any of my other technique tutorial videos, please do click the link here to take you to the relevant playlist. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is work on our right hand tap. Now, a right hand tap is basically a hammer-on with one of the fingers of what is normally your picking hand. Now the first thing you've got to get your head around is the fact that you're going to hold the guitar neck on the top and on the bottom like this, leaving your index finger on your picking hand free to do the tap. Then you're going to practice doing hammer-ons onto fret 12 on the B string. Now you could do this on any of the guitar strings, but I've just chosen the B string because I kind of feel like the thinner strings are slightly easier to get your head around than the thicker ones. So you're going to slam the end, the tip of your index finger into fret 12 on the B string. Now make sure that you're just behind the fret wire here rather than being in the middle of the fret here. And it's going to look and sound like this. I did a nice strong hammer on there. You might need to work on this a little bit in order to build the strength in your index finger for this to sound good. Here it is again. Just a little aside, but it is important. The reason why we're holding our guitar like this and not using our finger like this is because we're going to use the palm, the inside of the palm, this bit here, to mute the strings that we're not playing. So I'm touching this part of my palm to the G, the B, the D, the A and the low E strings as I do my tap. And this means that I don't get any unwanted string noise when I move on to doing the pull-off. Okay, so now that you've done your tap, we're going to do a pull-off. Now you need to pull your first finger off towards the ceiling. Now when you do a pull-off with your fretting hand, you pull off down towards the floor. But that isn't going to work in this context. So we're going to make sure that once we've done our tap, we pull our finger off up towards the sky, like this. Now that muting that you're doing is really going to help here because as you pull your finger up, it will come into contact with the G string. But because we're muting it with our palm, it won't make a noise. At this point, you can experiment doing the tap and the pull-off anywhere across the length of any of the guitar strings on any of the frets. It's a good idea to do this to give yourself a chance to get on top of this fundamental part of the technique. What I recommend is that you pause the video here, have a practice, and then come back and watch it from this point onwards once you've had a go at it. So the next thing we're going to do is instead of just doing a tap and then pull off to the open string, we're going to do a tap and then pull off to a fretted note. And I'm going to play fret 5 on the B with my first finger, like this. So have a go at that. Do your tap, pull off to 5. Then I'm going to do a pull off with my fretting hand to open. Now this pull off is going to go down towards the floor. the pull off with your tapping finger goes up towards the ceiling, like this. And then the final thing I'm going to do is a hammer on back to fret 5 on the B string with my index finger, like this. Then I'm going to repeat this 4 times. I'll count you in after 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I'm going to move my first finger up to fret 8 and do the same thing. I'll count you in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's put the two things together. So we're going to do it on the 5th fret 4 times and then on the 8th fret 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I'm going to move my first finger back 1 fret to the 7th fret. And again, repeat 4 times. So it's going to sound like this. And then I'm simply going to go back to the beginning and repeat like this. Okay, next thing. Let's just have a quick go at playing that along with a metronome. 1, 2, 3, 4. In the final part of this tutorial, I've just prepared a little backing track for you to try playing along with. Now this is slightly faster than the version that you've just tried, so you're going to need to practice it first before you build it up to full speed. 1, 2, 3, 4. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, guys. Please like and subscribe the 60 Seconds of Shred YouTube channel for more of this kind of content in the future. See ya!